Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. Today we work at the part 7 for the Photoreal interior with VRay. So we have to model more stuffs for the other side of the room, and if we have time we'll try to finalize this part with the right shaders. So in the next part we'll work just on the compositing and then on the rendering also by night. I'd like to add another part later to see how to play with an animation with VRay. So we'll see how to work with a walkthrough with all the settings for VRay, for the global illumination and all the other stuff needed. So let's close this view and let's go in a perspective just to have a vision of the room. You see that we have stuff all around. We need to do something for this part of the room because actually it is empty. So I like to have something over we have again a problem with the book. You see that it's lost. Let's see if we open the other version. Let's see this one. We have again the same problem. We have you have to see all the ID, so maybe you have the right scene version and you have not to fix the stuff. You see that we have brown stuff over the book. Just this one, the original one, is right, and this one. So if you have time you have to fix it. Now we can go to check the other part, and let's see to have a camera there on the sofa to see what we can see from the camera we are using. Maybe we can pick this camera. Let's select the camera and we can make a clone as a copy. Then this camera will be the number 4 and we move there, and then we select the target and we move it. So let's say that we select both, also the camera again, and we move it. So our stuff for the TV must be there. So let's start modeling something. Let's imagine that it can be something like, let's say, like that. We have just to decide the scale there. So let's imagine that we have something like that. We have 80 centimeters, let's say 65. So it will be not so big. And then let's see, there we have 6 meters. Let's say maybe it is 4 meters. So it will be a little bit more little. Maybe we can do it bigger because I like to have stuff also on this part of the room because actually it is empty. So maybe we can have a bigger size. Let's imagine maybe 5 meters. So that's really big furniture. Okay, let's imagine something like that. So now we have to do something more, and we have to prepare this one. So let's say that the base is 45, maybe 55 centimeters, and the TV can stay there. So let's zoom from this point of view, or maybe directly in the viewport. we can move it to put on the right place over the ground. So we'll have something like that, and that's the base for our furniture. Let's call it TV furniture. Okay, that's our base, and now we can put something more over it. So let's make a clone as a copy, and this one will be maybe just 3 centimeters, so it is something not so big, and it is a little bit larger. Let's say maybe 68. So let's select both, and we can go working in the perspective with the isolation. Okay, so we can move this one there, so we have just the space. Now I like to pick this one. We can convert to editable poly, and then we can pick this edge and the other one there, and we can make a little chamfer, so maybe something around 0.25 with just one more substep. So we have this shape, and for this one we can convert to editable poly, and we can select all the edges, chamfer again 0.25, and say yes. Okay, nice. So this one will be, let's prepare a new material. We can maybe reset the material editor to have enough space. This one will be TV furniture metal glossy. We go for a VRay material, and that's a dark gray with a freshener reflection. It is with a nice reflection, with a glossy. Obviously later we'll fix the quality. Actually we are just playing a little bit with the various parameters, and the anisotropy is minus 0.25, and for the moment we stay with this value. For the other part, we're going to have a little bit of contrast, so this furniture will be white, and let's say TV white outline, and then back to a VRay material. This is white, freshening reflection, and it has nice reflection with glossy, so 0.let's say 75. Okay, and for the moment we stay with this value. So now I like to have something to open, so we can go on this viewport. We move this one just a little bit. Okay, and then we can create a spline, but we can use a rectangle. So let's say something like that, and then we can convert to editable spline, and on this part we can refine okay, Then we select the vertex there and there, and sorry, this one and this one, and we move it down, so we have the possibility to pick there to open maybe a little bit more. Okay, nice. So then we can select all the vertices, and we go to have a fillet, just a little bit. Okay, nice, perfect. And then we can extrude the spline, so let's use the extrusion, and we go for 1.20 meters. Okay, so that's our first part, and I like to generate mapping coordinates, and we convert to editable poly, and then I like to create the right chamfer, but let's remove this part because we have the chamfer there, and we go in the chamfer 0.25 and say yes and close. Perfect. This one has the same material, and we say that there we have also a compound objects, let's say an extended primitives. Let's say that we have a chamfer box, and this chamfer box we can create it manually. Okay, it will be 1 meters. It will be 2 centimeters height and 2 centimeters for the length, and it will be maybe 0.5 centimeters. So let's align to this one, center and center, and then we move this one on the top there, and then this one there, and it has the same chromic material. Okay, maybe we can put this in the middle. Okay, nice. So let's select both. We can make a little group, TB part group, and then we make a copy. Sorry, let's make a copy as an instance. Okay, and we make the same to have another copy using the shift key. Okay, and then we make the latest copy using the shift key again as an instance. Okay. Back in the camera we have everything, so it is really the first part of our model. Let's go in the camera and let's move a little bit to see it better. Okay, nice. So let's save this file in the right folder. So we are talking about the part 7, and that's the part 7. Nice. Let's make a preview. So it is okay for the resolution. We have no anti-alias, and the various setup are really there. So something really fast. Let's go to have less min samples and global subdivision, and let's render. okay, we have still the displacement we can remove for the test and render gain. So you see we have a nice visibility over the look there. So first thing we can do is to change the material there for the metal. So I like to have more reflectivity because we can go for 8 for the IRR, and this one now it has 1.6. we can go for 2.2, and less glossiness, let's go for 909, and render gain. So you see we have more reflection there for the metal. I like to put something to be sure we have a nice reflectivity. So let's create a simple teapot. Okay, and in the rendered viewport we can select this area and render. Okay, maybe we can add more reflection, and for the other part there, the white area, we can have more reflectivity too. Back there with the test. Okay, it is nicer than before. So now we can continue to put the other things. So let's remove this teapot, and we can have, let's imagine, let's use a perspective. Okay, we can have the TV on this part, and then we have other stuff there. So let's do something like, let's peek back this part just to have something. Okay, nice. So let's go to have half of the for 2 meters we can have a box. Okay, so this one is length 2 meters, the width is not so much, let's say 5 centimeters, and the 8 is maybe something around 45 centimeters, and we put this one back and on the top, so it stay on the ground there, and we can check the position there. So it stay there and there. Okay, then convert to editable. Maybe it can be also a little bit more. Let's say that it is 2 meters and a half. Okay, and we can convert to editable poly and select all the edges and chamfer 0.25. Okay, then we need something like this one, but it will be bigger, so we can make another box, and this one will be 2 meters and a half. It will be let's say maybe 25 centimeters, maybe 30 centimeters or 35 centimeters, and it will be high 7 centimeters. So let's align with this one, Okay, and we need again to make the same thing we done for the other one. So convert to editable poly, chamfer 0.25, and say yes, and close. And I like to have this one can stay there and then there. And talking about the 8, I like to have more space down and just a little bit there. Okay, so that pieces as wood material. So we go there and we call a new material td wood, assign and prepare a VRay material, and there we'll have a bitmap. We should have something in the 3ds Max maps, so let's go inside the wood. We have this one, but it's really little. Let's see if we have something inside the arc material. We are still talking about maps coming from Autodesk. Let's see this one, if it is nice. It is not bad. Maybe we can use this one. Okay, let's zoom this object. We have to tune the mapping, so we can tune for this one. Let's assign, to have a better look, we can, for example, pick this face and this other face and set a UV map as planar, then poly select, and we select this part and we assign another UV map, and we say that it's planar, but let's see. Okay, and again poly select. So now let's change and let's have more repetition over this area. Okay, we can try with something like that. Let's do the same for the other mesh there. So we say that this face has a UV map. Okay, and then edit, select, invert. Oh, sorry. Inside this one, poly select, polygon, edit, select, invert, and we go for a box map. It's not important because we don't see so much about this part. Okay, and poly select again. Nice. Let's go back to be near. It seems not bad. Let's go back in the camera. I don't like so much these wood maps. So back there, and let's see if we have something better. This one is not bad. Okay, so the rotation is right, and let's try to have a little bit less. Okay, I like to see how it looks from this point of view. So back in the rendering, and let's render this part. I don't like the texture. No. So let's go for something else. We need a nice wood material. This one is a little bit better, so maybe we can use this one. Let's see again the rendering. Okay, let's try to go with this one. Maybe we can go for a darker color, so let's say that this one is still inside a composite map. We can put another pass, and let's say that we have an RGB tint and we use a black color. And there, let's see, for example, to have a multiply, to have a darker wood. Okay, so then back there we have freshener reflection. Let's go for 1.85. White for the moment for the reflectivity. Back there. Okay, you see we have heavy, really heavy reflection. Then we use the map to have the reflectivity, so we copy this one, and there we put a color correction map, and this map inside as a copy. We remove the saturation, so now we are controlling this one with this map. Okay, you see that it is lower the reflection, but we need also to control the glossiness, so let's copy this map there and we go for something like that. Let's see how it looks, because I like to have glossy reflection. Maybe a little bit less, so we have to go there and have more clear reflectivity, clear map. Okay, you see. And then we need also a little bit of bumping, so we can use this map as a copy and we can put inside the bump. Let's say we have just 5 and we have to change to 0.3 to have less detailing, and let's go to have more contrast. Okay, nice. Back to render. Okay, that's done. So that's a part of our stuff there for the TV. We can go to create something more up, and then we can start playing with placing all the stuff needed inside this tool. But again, I'd like to see there if we can have more reflectivity. So back in the rendering, I like to see there if we have a little bit more reflectivity. Okay, we start to see something nice, and let's save. So back in a perspective, okay, so let's create something up. So from this point of view, let's pick just this piece and go in isolation. So we need another box, and this time I'm talking about something bigger. So it must be 2 meters and half. But over the other axis there. And it would be high, maybe 1 meters, maybe 1 meters and half. Okay, so it can stay there, but higher, because there I like to have the TV. And let's check there. Let's say that this one is 60, maybe 65. And zoom, because you know we need the space to make also the other stuff needed. So let's make it 63. Okay, then convert to editable poly and all the edges with a chamfer 0.25, and yes, and close, and let's go to change the position there. So move, right mouse button. Okay, nice. Now we can create some boxes, and these boxes must be 125 and 150, and let's say 2 centimeters and half. And we move this one on the right position. Maybe it can be 3 centimeters. So setting convert to editable poly, and all the edges with the chamfer with 0.25. Then pick this one, pick this face and remove, and then we can go for a shell, but it will be 2 centimeters inside and 0 on the outer. Then let's move this one there, and we can have the second copy. So we can make a fix there to be sure that we stay on the right value with the movement, and let's have it there. And I like to see there if we have enough space. Maybe we have to change a little bit this mesh and a little bit this mesh too. Okay, nice. All the stuff, let's go for the camera. Let's select those pieces and those pieces as the white material. So exit from isolation, and let's move the camera, because maybe everything is really really high, as you can see. So we have to change the scaling for some stuff, and I think that we can scale both pieces and then move it and rescale again. Okay, and now it should be okay. Now if we go to render a preview, just to be sure that everything works fine. Okay. Nice. So we can put some stuff there. And I like to move this part on the other part where we have the TV. Let's put maybe a box just to have the measure of the TV. So let's say that we have something like that. Please remember that this one is just for a test purpose, just to have the measure of the TV. So we have to pick that stuff and let's move it in the right place from the top. Okay, there we have the TV. Nice. Then we can put something more over this part, and we can use again a wood plate. So let's make a copy. And we can pick those vertices, but we need an edit poly. Okay, nice. So we have the wood there, and then I like to have two little planes, so we can make again some wood plane there. Let's say maybe something like that. Let's say 2 centimeters. So something really light. Okay. And let's say also that this one is 2 meters and 40, or maybe 2 meters and 30. And I like to move it there. And this one stays down, maybe something like that. We can convert to editable poly, select both, chamfer 0.25 as always, and close. And this one has the same wood, but let's make another material. So let's say TV box wood box, and we can assign this one, and this one will be a multi-sub object. Keep all map as submap. We'll have just 2 material, and the first one will be this one as an instance, and the second one not. So all the faces there are ID 1. Let's go in the perspective, isolation, and then we say that this face and this face are object ID 2. Okay, and there we have the same reflective metal. Nice. Back in the camera and back there, and let's see if it works. So let's render. Okay, we have the wood and then the metal. Nice. We can make a clone. As an instance. We can put the camera there. Let's select the target. Okay. Select back the camera to see a little bit more of the room and save. Obviously we have to put stuff over the furniture, and we have also to work to model the TV. For the moment we can say TV temp, and we go for a VRay material with a black color with freshener reflection, EV reflection. Okay, save, and let's make a preview. The first preview will be more little than the basic resolution, let's say 6x50, just to have a better vision over the room. Then we have to model some stuff to be put over the new furniture we just created, and we have to tune up obviously the rendering and post more camera to have a better visibility over the room. Let's see the other cameras. This one stays on the furniture. This one see just this part, and this one is there. Let's make another copy of the cameras, and this one edit clone as a copy, and we can move this one. This is the camera number 5, and let's move it. Okay, so it is there, and let's try to change a little bit to have a better visibility. That's the camera target, and let's see, for example, this point of view. So we can see also how much stuff we have to add to the room. You see that, for example, we need to put something there, for example a plant with a vase or something like that. We can put some chair, but we start to have enough thing inside the room. So let's see, and we can see maybe it's just some setting to have a better quality rendering. You can, for example, let's go back to 900 and 500, and we can use the anti-alias, and we can go, for example, with the triangle filter, and we can set to 1.8, And then something more that can be done is to have, for example, there -3, -1. We can add the detail enhancement, and let's put there for the moment 50. And in the light cache you can put, for example, 2000. And there let's go with 32 and 4, and we should have a nice quality. So let's render. It should be not so slow to calculate the entire environment with a nice looking level of detail. From this point of view, I see that there is an error there. You see I made some mistake with the calculation there, so we have to change there and also the other furniture, but in part we have a nice result for the moment. So we have to create the TV, and we have to put some stuff inside there the room, and put more stuff also on the other part of the room. So it will take just a little bit to finalize all this thing. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on MaxCookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.